What's up, party people? Welcome to the show. This is DFW Real Estate Weekly. And don't miss the podcast wherever you catch your podcast. We got all sorts of things to cover today. We are getting into who is winning in the DFW real estate market right now. Who's winning? Who's got the advantage? Who has the leverage? Who can most benefit from the conditions of the market in Dallas-Fort Worth residential real estate right now? We will answer that and your questions as we make our way through the show today. Give us a call, 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008. Call or text. And as always, you can find us online at
TouchMoneyTeam.com.
If you do call, you might have the glorious privilege of speaking directly with the English wonder himself, the Yanni Donnie. Welcome to the show, Ian.
Hello.
There he is, joyful as ever, creative and fluent, many words. We've also got...
It's been a rough week, Todd.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like your skin is not on the same team as the rest of your body.
I'm just talking about England.
Yeah, well, I know that England didn't do what you wanted them to do, but they did more than the U.S. team did, and that's that.
Not saying much.
FPC, full price Courtney, in studio with microphone. Who knows what she's going to say, but let's give it a shot.
Here. My new tagline, I'm going to get a poster printed for the office. She's fantastic, and she's terrifying.
Okay.
All at the same time.
Just a self-poster?
Yeah.
Just like right
First
there.
of all,
she's fantastic.
A picture of you.
And no, just a quote.
We will explain this to our friends in the audience here in a second. That's a quote.
She's fantastic and terrifying.
But second of all, what was your old tagline? Because you said it's a new tagline.
Oh, I don't know. I'm excited to have a tagline. I love branding. You know what I mean? Good marketing.
Boy, do I love marketing. Boy, do I not love taglines. But
why?
It's usually meaningless and secondary and takes away from the primary. But
I
that's a whole
disagree completely. Yeah. And you have a tagline.
Who knew?
Under the average price.
That's
over
not a tagline.
the.
That's what we call a USP, unique selling proposition.
Also not under the average price.
Yeah.
It's not catchy.
Sorry, folks. We've had to mute her again. One of these days, she will understand what we do here. Until then, we'll do Courtney Learns Real Estate as a
where
prime
we sell
segment.
homes for over the average price and under the average time, because that's actually beneficial to our clients.
That's why you're our team lead.
Thanks for getting that right,
as opposed to
Ian.
being absolutely useless.
Thanks for getting that right. Hey, while we're off the rails, we got one more person in studio, and you are lucky to get a few minutes with Gibson Aguirre. We call him the special ninja assassin real estate agent here, one of the crew. Gibson works with buyers. We're going to get to him here in a minute, but you got to lean into somebody's microphone.
That's his tagline,
and
isn't
just
it?
at least, nope, Courtney doesn't want to give you that one. So here you go.
Yo, yo, yo.
There it is. He's an Aggie. He's got to say stuff like that. We're going to dive in with Gibson here in a minute about what's happening on the ground, who's winning in the DFW real estate market right now. And obviously, when we talk about who's winning, we can talk about who's at risk of losing in this market as well, who's making the biggest mistakes that they don't need to be making, but they were probably making those mistakes based on bad information, usually from a headline. So we'll dive into all that here in a second. But first,
this segment is brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his entire team over at Cardinal Financial. If you are looking to refinance, take out a mortgage, you just want to talk to somebody about what are your options when it comes to getting a loan right now in this market in real estate, give Patrick a call, 972-728-3420. You can go to his website, patrickgleros.com, G-L-A-R-O-S, patrickgleros.com, where you can start an application right there. NMLS number 308804, or go to ToddTremontiTeam.com, click the radio tab, and you can find all of our recommended pros and vendors there.
Stuck the landing. That was smooth all the way through. It was beautiful. It was eloquent. You're as quick as ever on the NMLS. It was great.
Thank you.
Way to go. Hey, PatrickGleros.com. That's what I do. It's what I've always done. My wife and I have only ever used Patrick Gleros for 20 years when we bought and sold homes ourselves. All right, folks. Courtney is shouting at me to unmute her microphone. And honestly, whenever that happens, I get a little sweaty. So here we go.
Honestly,
Yep.
I have a voice.
We know that.
And
we know.
Oh, wow.
Has anyone ever championed your voice more than us? That's what I'm asking.
Maybe
like
claimed that you do
Thanks,
not
guys.
have a voice.
junior high theater teacher, maybe. I don't know. But Go ahead.
What I'm fighting for on this show constantly is to clarify the message, because it's crystal clear to the two of you. But I feel like an outsider and have a pulse on what people feel as the public is navigating the headlines and things. And I think that, like you say, nobody cares about this NAR settlement as far as like the public.
No one's down the rabbit hole like we are, is what I'm saying. But yes, you're right.
But I think we are just seeing the headlines and we're like, gosh, it feels maybe chaotic to be a real estate agent right now. And so all of this just leads to less clarity for me. And it puts me in a frozen state of like, I don't want to buy or sell. I don't know what's happening. And what I hear is that it's going to cost me more. And
Courtney's standard sound, by the way. No, that's your signature sound.
Is
Whenever we
it?
do your
I'm a
spot.
prince.
And really, it's more that it's a random sound, but not that that's associated with you at all. Carry on.
listen, this is your business. And I'm trying to help you. And so if you want to make fun of me, go nuts. You're the ones that want to buy and sell homes, not me. I'm just trying to get you famous on social media.
Listen,
I'm not doing a great job.
What an excellent comment.
Well, let's not do a job review.
What were your questions about the NAR
want you
settlement?
to clarify the message of this giant settlement that is causing a buyer like I'm responsible for the buyer's fee, or I don't know what any of that means.
Okay, let's start here. There has been a massive shift in our industry in the last year, and there are others pending. The big shift right now has been that the National Association of Realtors was one of many big players in our industry that have been sued in a giant class action lawsuit. And what the suit was over was somewhat convoluted, but ultimately it was about clarifying things in our business. So along that path of clarifying things, there was a giant settlement paid, which I absolutely disagree with. But the fact is, no one cares what I think in that regard. It was a court case. There was a settlement. It will be paid over time. What's going to actually change, though, the big primary thing that's going to change is not how much agents get paid, but how agents get paid. And so that's a big distinction. It's not how much. There is no set price for real estate agents. One of the things said in the suit is that many consumers think or thought there was a set price for real estate agents. The argument was that people were not fully aware that real estate agent fees are negotiable. I find that really hard to believe. Maybe it's just that in DFW, we've always been really open about how negotiable. We have lots of different business models that offer different fee options.
Yes,
People
but you always say, like, I wouldn't negotiate my fee with my lawyer, or I wouldn't negotiate my dentist fee. I'll just go to somebody else.
Yes, but we have done for 20 years what the courts want more and more agents to do, which is charge your own fee based on what you're offering, based on what you're worth, as opposed to like, hey, everyone kind of charges the same, and no one's really fully explaining it to the consumer, the buyer and the seller, and they're not exactly sure which agent pays who and who pays which agent and how much and where it goes and all that. I still think most of that is bogus because people sign 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-page contracts that explain all that. But there's also a lot of agents that aren't great at their jobs and probably aren't explaining things really well. So
there's also a lot of people that don't want it to be explained to them.
Yeah.
There's trust, right? It's just like, I'll just do whatever.
Trust and, to be honest, laziness. Yeah. Right? I just want it sold. I want this amount and just get it done. So all that to say, those are all opinions. What happened was a couple of changes have to be made. Buyers, if you want a buyer's agent who represents you and has an exclusive obligation to to look out for you. That's what Gibson does. We'll bring him in here in a second. You have to sign paperwork to basically hire them. You can't just do that loosely anymore. That's required now so that there's clarity of who does what and what they get paid and who pays them and all that. That's always been true on the seller side, and we've always signed that paperwork on the buyer side because we've agreed that there should be clarity for both parties involved, the agent and the consumer.
I want to say that paperwork first came out in like
mid-90s.
Yeah, was it mid-90s?
Mid-90s. And what's crazy is there was a bunch of legal action then about how if your buyer had an agent, they actually worked for the seller because that's who was paying. It's crazy. The problem creates a solution, which creates another problem, and then the solution recreates the old problem. It's a mess. But I don't know that helps with what you're saying, Courtney. What will help is as follows. You've got to find a real estate professional that you trust. You have to find someone that you can look in the eye and be like, here's what I've been hearing. Here's what I've been reading. Does it mean this? Does it mean that? And I'll go so far as to say this. If what you really, really want is to not pay a real estate agent, you do not have to. You can do this on your own. You can go to court on your own. And then here's where people get annoyed, but it really is fair. You can do your own dental work. You can give yourself stitches. You can set a broken bone. All those things are dumb. I believe that. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not saying you're dumb if you disagree with me. I'm saying I think it is unwise to do really important specialized things on your own if you're not a specialist or an expert at those things. Now, Gibson, I'd love to ask you really quickly, as someone who specializes in helping buyers and only buyers, why would you do that as a professional?
Hire me.
Why would you only work with buyers? Why do you specialize? Why is that something you've chosen to do as a career path?
Both sides of the transactions have very many different facets. I'm not great at some things, and I want to be great at others. And working with a buyer specifically, that being within my skill set. And why be... I mean, not to quote it exactly, but it's like, jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not finishing that quote to be strategic there, but I don't step out of the buy side lane. I stay in that lane. I work on my skills in that lane. And if I stretch myself thin and tried to wear the hats of listing and selling properties, I would be not so great at the buy side. And so that's the advantage.
So to summarize what you're saying, you specialize in one thing so you can be better at that one thing, right? Now, that doesn't mean that if someone does more than one thing, they're just like useless at all of them. But if you can put all of your time, energy, experience, intellect, focus, learning in one narrow category, you're going to rapidly become a leader in that category. You're going to get really, really good at that. That's one of our core philosophies at the Todd Tremonti home selling team, is that we have agents that specialize with buyers, agents that specialize with sellers. And then when they do that, back to Courtney's point, when there's a shift in the industry, you're going to end up being one of the leaders and innovators and making those adjustments fastest. And then because you're only working with buyers, you're going to get more reps with buyers and learn what's working and not working, what's best for buyers in this part of town versus that part of town, or buyers with cash, which we're going to talk more about, versus buyers who are borrowing, as opposed to doing a little bit of buyers, a little bit of sellers, a little bit of renting, a little bit of industrial, a little residential, a little commercial, a little bit of land, a little bit of rural land.
And that's what we run into, right? Is that people will say, I specialize in buyers, sellers, investing, apartments, commercial, residential, land, lots.
We always chuckle on our team like, well, that's not what specialized means.
Right.
But aside from picking on the rest of the industry for being just blatantly contradictory, the question was, or the comment that led to the question was like, there's a lot of confusion around this NAR ruling and industry changes and what does it mean? And the reality is we're seeing lots of sellers that are like, hey, I heard I don't have to pay agents anymore. And we're seeing a lot of buyers that are like, I don't think I can buy if I have to come out of pocket and pay my agent. And we're not going to explain all of that right now on a time-sensitive radio show. What I can tell you is, if you're a buyer or a seller, this should not harm you, but it will harm you if you find yourself working with a real estate agent that doesn't fully understand it. And I don't think you have a great opportunity to fully understand it unless you are working with an agent that understands it and can educate you and set appropriate expectations. Otherwise, I'm telling you, there's not enough time this week, much less this show, to explain to you all the potential pitfalls that these industry changes have created. None more than agents who are going to be pressured to do a lot more volume at a lot lower fees and therefore deliver a lot less value to their clients, or agents that are less likely to get paid, or agents that are more likely to leave the industry, buyers that are likely, if they don't understand the situation, to have to pay way, way, way more to buy a house, sellers who are likely to get a lot less for their house if they misunderstand how the situation is going to work. So those are the realities. Let's change gears a little bit. We can come back to that later if you want to, Courtney. But real quick, Gibson, who are you seeing win big when buying in this market?
I think number one player there is folks with cash.
Amen.
You aren't subject to what interest rates are doing. And of course, is the number one headline to anything real estate is, oh, how high are rates today? We actually hit high sixes last week. And so they're trickling down. But if you have cash on hand and have the leverage to go buy property, you're playing a different game than anybody else.
And you're playing a different game because what? Why are you? So you just said rates, right? So that's a huge one. If I have cash, I don't have to pay an interest rate. I'm not borrowing, so I don't have that additional cost. I'm not as sensitive to payment. But am I getting like 20% off houses? Are they deeply discounted? Am I more competitive? What other than rate? What else is that doing for me?
Yes and yes to both of your statements. You have a totally different leverage point than any other buyer. Obviously, when we have a seller making a decision on a property, you are not contingent to financing if you're cash. And so that's an easy decision for a seller to say, hey, these folks have this money. There's nothing holding them against it. We're going to get to a 15-day close, 10-day close, whatever it may be. Pricing as well. Walking into a property that's 1 week on market with cash, you're normally not going to be paying your said listing price or suggested price of that seller because your offer is dynamite compared to anything that's contingent on financing.
Yeah, and to be clear, just to break down what Gibson means by contingent on financing is there has to be an appraisal. There has to be a valuation of the home, and it doesn't come in quite right, then the bank says we won't give you the loan or we won't give you the loan for that amount. When you have cash, all that goes away. The decision is yours. Do you want to give that amount of cash or do you not? So when you are a cash buyer, not only are you not having to deal with the complexity of rates or the cost of rates, you're also getting to cut through all the complexity and hand that to a seller and say, look, there's a lot less complexity for you, a much higher level of certainty that we get to closing. And then you also mentioned, Gibson, the speed. We can close a lot faster because we're not waiting on underwriting and appraisals and a bunch of other people to determine if we get to move forward. And then I would go so far as to add at least one more thing, which is if I bring cash to the transaction, it eliminates a lot of other cost. The cost of the lender, the cost of the process of getting a loan, of course, interest rate, but the cost of some of the things that I may not think I need, but the lender might make me do, the cost of time, and maybe lender required repairs and other things like that I may not want to get done or I might want to do differently. So speed, savings, short-term savings, long-term savings, access, and honestly, to a lot of people, the psychology of the way it sounds, a cash offer just sounds better to a lot of people. So if you are a cash buyer in this market, I want you to reach out to Gibson or anyone on our team right now, 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, or you can go online to toddtramoniteteam.com and talk about those and other benefits to being a cash buyer right now. We have a little bit more inventory than we've had for a while, so a cash buyer is able to take advantage of more choices. We have a little bit more time on the market right now, so someone that's been sitting on the market for a while and sees cash might jump all over that. And then the other reality right now is that prices, while many places are still going up, are somewhat stagnant. They're not going up as fast as they once were. In some areas, they're a little bit flat. And then we've seen a couple of pockets where we've dipped a little bit. So as a cash buyer right now, you're talking about better pricing, lower short-term cost, lower long-term cost, ease of access, faster opportunities, and taking advantage ethically of the eagerness of a seller who prefers to sell to you over anybody else. If you are a cash buyer right now, you want some cash buyers to call you, Gibson?
Yeah, call me.
Yeah. The look on Gibson's face when he knows he's going to win for his buyer against the seller is a beautiful thing. Okay? Is that as much fun as winning a state championship in high school? Maybe not.
Yeah, no, we'll low play that. Yeah.
All right. If you've got questions, give us a call, 214-310-0008.
DP Lambert, Goosehead Insurance, that's who you need to reach out to if you have not shopped your home insurance or your auto insurance recently. DP has been saving me, Todd, Gibson, so many of our folks and clients, friends, family members, thousands of dollars over the years. Now is a great time to reach out to him. We had DP on the show a few weeks ago, and he was explaining, like, things have just got crazy in the insurance world with how expensive things have got. So if you've been using the same company for years and years and years and haven't checked on it recently, do so with DP and his team. dp.lambert, Lambert, dp.lambert@goosehead.com, or you can give him a call, 214-614-8595. ToddTremoneyTeam.com is where you can go. You can find all the information, not only on DP, but all of our recommended pros and vendors.
All right, Gibson, one more question real quick on a cash buyer. If you have a buyer that's documented to have the cash, can you get access to homes that others don't know about?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I've got cash, I got short-term dollar savings, long-term dollar savings, I got speed of access, I've got leverage with sellers, and I probably have access to homes that others don't. True?
True.
Okay.
And true.
We couldn't be more clear. Now, if you're borrowing right now, there's still opportunities for buyers. I know you've had some home runs for buyers lately. Anything you want to share with folks just to let them know what's possible out there on the ground in residential real estate in Dallas-Fort Worth right now?
Yeah, just in the last 90 days, I would say, outside of new build communities, those that kind of are just playing the builder game, the lowest total cost that I'm getting in seller credits is $10,000.
So again, let me translate. You're getting at least $10,000 from sellers to your buyers to lower the cost of purchasing.
Yep. That $10,000 is used for a rate buy down, a permanent rate buy down product. You just want new furniture, or we need a washer, dryer, and fridge. The point of the matter is you can kind of move that lever and get a seller to bring your buyer money rather than always just, hey, we're going to negotiate the price here.
What you need to be hearing from that is there are some very real opportunities for buyers right now. I posted on social media this week that 5 or 6 years from now, people are going to look back and say, why did I not buy a home in 2024? Just like people right now are saying, why did I not buy a house 5 or 6 years ago? I know it feels weird, but it always does. And what Gibson is telling you is there are a lot of favors in your advantage. You might get that seller credit from a seller to you as a buyer, and consider doing some garage floor work or some patio work or deck work. And we would encourage you to reach out to goodgaragefloors.com. They did incredible work on our garage floor, as well as turning our old busted up concrete slab that we called a basketball court into a really, really great basketball and pickleball court that we're having a ton of fun with and really, really enjoying the summer on. Check them out at goodgaragefloors.com. If you're thinking about buying or selling right now, we need to talk. Let's talk strategy. We call it a free strategy session. You can go to ToddTremoneyTeam.com. You can Google Todd Tremoney, or you can call us right now at 214-310-0008. Or if you want, you can text 214-310-0008. And do not forget,
Google Todd Tremoney and check out over 700 5-star reviews.
welcome back, party people. Let me punch you right in the face with an idea that at first, on the surface, you may not like. You do not want to save money on your real estate agent. You do want to save money on your transaction. You do not want to save money on your real estate agent. You do want to save money on your real estate transaction. Now, has there ever been a more self-serving sounding comment from a real estate broker? No. I mean, that obviously sounds like I'm a real estate broker and team leader, and I want you to think that you want to pay me. But let me explain why I'm saying that. During the break, Courtney and I were talking about how she feels about the industry stuff. We'll talk about it again here in a second. And then we're going to get to your questions. 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, or ToddTremoneyTeam.com. But You don't want to save money on your real estate agent. You do want to save money on your transaction. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you want the best freaking real estate agent on earth. And you want them to go win every single thing they can win for you. And you want to pay them well. And you want them to love working with you. And you want to love working with them. Right? Just like you would know that if you got the best attorney in town, you would pay them more than other attorneys, but you'd be glad to do it as long as they got you a phenomenal result. And if you went and got the best heart surgeon in the world, you'd pay them more than some knucklehead local wannabe. And you'd be glad to do it because of the result they get you. Now, what I'm telling you is from a dollars and cents and stress and life cost scenario, a real estate agent can absolutely leapfrog you forward. A real estate agent can have massive impact in your life. What I'm telling you is you don't want to look for cheap. You want to look for great, and you want to make up the financial benefit throughout the transaction. And that can be done. We've been doing it for 20 years, okay? It sounds really self-serving to say the solution to all the problems is find a great agent. But the solution to many real estate problems is to find an excellent real estate pro to lead and guide you through that. And that is almost never going to be the cheapest one, or you doing a favor for your goofball nephew, or you just helping your neighbor out who's brand new in the business. That doesn't mean your nephew and your neighbor's not great, but they're not great just because they're your nephew or neighbor. They're great because they're able to walk you through set expectations, show you process, show you systems, show you results, show you track record, and do an incredible job for you. And that's my summary statement, Courtney, about all this industry shakeup and people's confusion and anxiety and fear of, do I not have to pay an agent anymore? Is it going to cost me more? Is it a bad time to buy? Is it a good time to buy? Should I sell right now? Should I buy but not sell? Should I sell but not buy? Am I even close to like the confusion you're talking about? If not, please tell me.
No, I think you're explaining it perfectly. And what I'm hearing you say is that I need a trusted person to help me navigate the process.
And I think the best trusted
I'm just not going to understand it to some level.
Not in 10 minutes, not in one blog post, not in one YouTube video. Right. And I'm biased. I think the best real estate experts in town are the folks at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. I've handpicked them. Ian and I and others have trained them. And we live life with them every single day to make sure that they value what we value, which is, things that matter and the client winning, and not just price and not just house and not just experience, but all of that and more. And when you find those rare people and they're committed full-time to buyers or sellers, to awesome neighborhood homes and to homes on land and to their greatest successes being client success stories and buyers and sellers whose lives are easier and more joyful and more purposeful because of their homes, that's something special. And I'm not going to apologize for thinking no one else comes close. I was actually in a room the other day of the top team leaders in Texas and Oklahoma, and there wasn't a single model or business in there that I envied. Every time someone brought something up, I was like, man, I'm sticking with what I've got. I'm sticking with the people we have.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a pro to help you in that, go to ToddTremontiTeam.com.
I think my pushback on you often is that it's hard to trust a real estate agent in general.
Yeah, I agree.
And so,
And what we're saying sounds really self-serving. I get that. Test it out. Talk to some agents. Talk to us. Go to ToddTremontiTeam.com. Call or text 214-310-0008. See if it sounds different. See if it feels different. See if there's more of a proven system there. See if that track record encourages you. If not, we're not going to work together. We say no to lots of people. It shocks people sometimes when we say, hey, we're just not a fit. That's okay. We'll find other clients, and trust me, you can find other agents. Not like us, not like our team, but that's maybe not what you want. So I don't mean to belabor the point. I'm just trying to be really upfront about the fact that I understand that sounds self-serving. It sounds like, hey, you need to talk to an agent, but you do. When you have a medical problem, you need to talk to a medical professional. When you have a mortgage issue, you need to talk to Patrick. When you have an insurance issue, you need to talk to DP. Trying to sort this out on your own at night on the internet is a dangerous game. Maybe not for like a one-time Amazon purchase, but when it's something this massively impactful in your life, find a professional you can trust. I think you can trust the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team.
Well, and just to highlight one final thing, and it was something that Gibson said at the end of the last segment, was like right now he's saving people like over $10,000 on these transactions. As a team, we guarantee to save you at least 5. Gibson's saving people $10, $12, $15,000.
Yeah.
And so somebody might think, "Oh, I'm saving myself on commission. I'm not going to pay this person this." And it's like, yeah, but then you're missing out on this other number, and now you're down net.
The way I explain that to people is, if I could get you a 3-to-1 return on your investment, how much would you like to invest? Right?
Yeah.
And most intelligent investors would be like, how much can I invest? And my response is, when it comes to your home, most of us only have one. Right? I've only got one house I'm going to sell in the next 10 years, 5 years. I want to get maximum value out of it, minimum stress, and I want it to set me up really, really, really well for the next thing, whether I'm buying or moving or whatever. And so you don't want to go cheap on that part. You do want to maximize the return, the sales price, the stress, the dollar cost save, all those things. We just find that a lot of people try to do that with don't pay an agent or pay an agent very little. And we have just found that that doesn't work. We tried that model for 5 years where we charged very, very, very little, and it just didn't work out. So give us a call. We can explain that more in depth about your unique situation, whether you're buying or selling. 214-310-0008. Call or text 214-310-0008 or go online to toddtremonteteam.com.
That first segment was brought to you by Patrick Galeros and his team, Cardinal Financial. Like I've told you for years now, if you're looking to refinance, take out a mortgage, you just have questions, reach out to Patrick and his team. You can go to patrickgaleros.com. You can fill an application right there on his website. You can give him a call at 972-728-3420, NMLS number 308804.
All right, you just mentioned our buyer side guarantee, that we guarantee buyers will save them at least $5,000 on the purchase of their house. Gibson, you know where we're headed.
I see where this is headed.
You just said that Gibson was talking about, like, lately it's a minimum 10. He's saving clients at 10 or more all the time. Let's ask Courtney what we guarantee to sellers.
Over the average price, under the average time.
And now let's ask Courtney what she said earlier.
Let's focus on the positive. Way to
we
go,
don't want to
Courtney.
leave people
And
with...
let's play her signature sound.
Thank you.
The gentle, elegant harp. Way to go.
She's fantastic and terrifying.
Guarantee to sell your house over the average price and under the average time, both. We guarantee, the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team, guarantee that your house will sell for more money than neighbors who have sold similar houses to yours. You will get more money for your house than they did. And it will sell faster. It will sell under the average time. Period. We guarantee that. We do it all day, every day, for neighborhood homes and homes with big backyards, say half acre and up. Okay? So if you're excited about one of those two things and you would like to maximize the money you get for that house and minimize the drama, go to toddtremonteteam.com or call or text 214-310-0008.
If you haven't already got your summer fun guide in the last 2 months, I don't know what you've been doing. I think you're crazy.
Get in the
and
game.
It's just been a waste of the last 2 months.
Summer's still happening.
It's still there.
Man.
Let's
go outside.
go.
Lots of fun
Check it.
left, people. Listen, there's all sorts of recommendations about ways to beat the heat, road trips,
Things
staycations,
to do, places to go,
ice cream joints, burger
People
joints.
to see.
hole in the wall places to eat that are awesome.
Tell them where to get one, Ian.
DallasHomeRealty.com, ToddTremontiTeam.com. Click on the banner at the very top of the page. Fill in a little bit of information, and we will get you a copy.
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Right there at the top.
The one right there. One other thing, home valuations. If you haven't checked yours recently, do so at the same website. Go to ToddTremontiTeam.com.
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
ToddTremontiTeam.com. That's the one right there. Thanks, Carter. Go there, click on the home valuation tab, and in less than a minute, you can see what your home is worth, what it would sell for, rent for, home equity, get cash offers, just a plethora of things that you can get from the website and all of the information it will give you. ToddTremontiTeam.com. Click on the home valuation tab. Okay, Parker, Texas. I want to talk a little bit about Parker.
I love Parker, by the way.
Is it true that every lot has to be 2 acres?
It was true that they have to be 2 acres. somewhat recently made the move to 1 acre. But yes, generally speaking, well, technically, homes in Parker have to be on at least 1 acre. For a long time, it was 2 acres. The broader point is we love Parker because, as you know, we love homes on big lots, homes with land. And Parker is this, I think it's fair to say, quiet, beautiful, highly desirable, nice, historically relevant, cool town. Historically relevant in some ways because of the television show Dallas and South Fork Ranch and the facility and the ranch out there. That's evolving and changing over the years, but...
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be there much longer. But Parker's very cool. If you don't know where Parker is, it's northeast Dallas, south. It's Collin County, but it's right on the northeast edge of what most people would call Dallas as you're starting to get out into the transition from suburban to urban. It's not rapidly becoming more urban because of that requirement that homes have to be on larger lots.
So like the very northeast side of Plano, like you hit that corner,
Yeah.
like close to where I live, you've got kind of Plano, Allen, Parker, all within. I mean, you could literally cross streets.
And I'm on the other side of Parker from you, where you've got 18 other things. But yes, it's in a very cool area where you can very quickly take Parker Road east and west and get just about anywhere. Murphy Road will get you north and south to just about anywhere. And so, yes, it's in that kind of Richardson, Parker, Wiley, Saxe, Murphy, Plano, getting up into Allen, not too far from McKinney corridor, right? So you're not far from the lake. You're not far from town. You've got big open land with crops and cattle, and you've also got not too far some densely populated, very nice neighborhoods. So it's situated in a very cool area where you can get a little bit of everything. But Parker itself is full of homes on land, and we love it. We sold a lot of property there. We have a lot of friends there. I've been to some really cool events out at the South Fork Ranch, one of the greatest Young Life banquets of all time. And some conferences have done some cool stuff out there. But all that to say, we really, really like Parker. It's not a community that a lot of people would say is uber multifaceted, but it's chosen to be a family-oriented community where people have big lots, which tends to skew towards larger families that want more space, with a lot of very cool, beautiful properties and recreation. There's still some older stuff and smaller homes. More and more of the newer stuff are big, beautiful, nice homes. There are some organized developments where everything's on sort of uniform 1 or 2 acre lots. And then, of course, there are some older lingering properties that are still on 10, 12, 15, 20 acres. And then there are some absolute showstoppers out there. Some of my favorite places in all of DFW are in Parker, Texas.
Love it, love it, love it. RepublicTitle.com is another group of folks that we just love. They take incredible care of our clients, both on the buy side and on the sell side. They are just one of the leaders in the title industry. RepublicTitle.com is where you can go. You can see all the services that they offer. All the information they can give you is going to be right there. RepublicTitle.com. You can give them a call if you want, 972-433-8777. RepublicTitle.com.
Perfect example this week of why we love Republic Title, because they don't do silly things that other title companies do. For example,
please.
Another title company this week sent us a commission check that was not for us. So is that the worst thing ever? No. But it is. Should someone be embarrassed that they sent someone else's commission check to us, and now we're sort of in the game of, do we send this check to the person it's supposed to go to, or do we send it back to the title company and then let them redo it? Someone out there is trying to get paid, and they're not. It's just silliness like that. Oftentimes, it's much more consequential than that. And Republic Title just has an unbelievable track record of not doing dumb stuff like that and taking really great care of all parties to the transaction. If you're thinking about buying or selling or refinancing, talk to your agent, talk to your broker, talk to your lender about Republic Title, republictitle.com.
All right, we have a 6th annual Real Growth Summit.
Believe
coming
it.
Up.
God, so fired up.
Who is this thing for? When is it going to be? And why the heck do we do it?
Okay, let's go in order. Who is it for? It's for real estate agents, team leaders, and real estate brokers that want to continue or begin to build a business that supports the life you want to live. to build a residential real estate sales business that allows you to be who you were created to be, do the things you love to do, have the impact you want to have, make the income you want to make, and be a significant contributor in your marketplace, in your community. So if you can hear us right now, if you're watching this video, if you're catching it on the podcast and you're interested, it is October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2024. Let me say that again. It is October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2024. It's our 6th annual event. It is in Richardson, Texas at the DoubleTree. This is our 6th annual. We've done this for a long time. It's a great event. We bring in incredible speakers. We have an amazing partner, Real Geeks, who is a website and CRM provider for real estate agents, who's also based right here in Dallas, right down by SMU. And if you're a real estate agent, or you want to be a real estate agent, or you're a team leader or a team member or a broker, you're looking at acquiring a business like that. If you're the spouse of a real estate agent, a family member, or a friend, make sure they know they can go to realgrowthsummit.com, realgrowthsummit.com, or you can find us just about anywhere and we can get you more information. But it is a great event to sell more houses, take better care of the clients that you work with, to build more systems and structure and consistency and predictability, and maybe above all else, offer more value to your clients. Be a greater contributor in the lives of your clients and friends and community, and maybe your staff and team members. realgrowthsummit.com.
Okay, this is a little segment we like to call Stump Todd. Today's word is air conditioning.
Imagine how scary life would be without it.
I can imagine.
I took a vacation this year, and honestly, I went to someplace glorious that often doesn't need air conditioning. But in the afternoon, it got a little warm, and my kids were like, "Can we turn the air down?" And the answer was no. There's not air conditioning there. They were absolutely dumbfounded. And why? Because they're Texans. And listen, I get it. There are people that don't have all the privileges of others. But can you imagine living in a Texas summer without air conditioning and realize that air conditioning wasn't even normal like 60, 70 years ago? Holy moly. So my response to air conditioning is be grateful for what you have, folks. There are obviously people that don't have air conditioning. For example, the Paris Olympics. Don't want anyone to have air conditioning because of a climate value. We're not going to get political about that. I'm just going to say
England has like 5% of businesses and homes have air conditioning.
Now, again, that's because of the climate. It doesn't get as hot there. But more and more and more, from what I can tell, people in Europe are like, dude, we got to get on this bandwagon of air conditioning because, when it gets over 80 in England, people are like, oh, my gosh, this is terrible. Well, it was 104 this week, and I am grateful for air conditioning. And you can apply this to many, many places in your life. I would argue that at your lowest moment, you still have so much to be grateful for. And that doesn't take away from the things that brought you to your lowest moment, whether it's a health scare, a relational issue, a financial issue. But as a generally healthy American citizen, I have got so much to be grateful for. And I would simply say that air conditioning is an incredible reminder that when we are grateful, life tends to go better. There's more joy. There's more generosity. There's more relational connection. Life tends to be better when we're grateful, and I am grateful for air conditioning, Ian.
I love it. Courtney believes that she has learned everything in real estate that she needs to know. So I have a question for Courtney that she doesn't know is coming.
Let's go quick. You go first.
Great. Courtney, what is the point of doing a home inspection, and what are we looking for in a home inspection?
Oh, come on, please.
Well, I'm muted.
That's a safe default setting.
I think that a home inspection is for seeing, like, getting an assessment on the home's condition before I purchase it so that I know what I'm getting, and maybe for negotiation purposes, like you know, so that something doesn't get pulled on over me.
And are we looking for it to be like a shopping list of things we want to get done, or are we looking for like major things?
I mean, I understand we can get nitpicky, but just kind of this like overview of like, how's the foundation? How are my windows? How's my roof? Kind of just structurally, what am I looking at as far as the investment I need to make negotiate that you need to fix?
Phenomenal.
I'm so proud of you right
Phenomenal.
now, Courtney. You are learning real estate.
I know it all.
Way to go.
I think I know it all.
There's much more to this, but we tell our clients
more
that an inspection list is the scariest document in the entire process of purchasing a house. And if someone's not fully prepared, they believe there is such thing as pass fail. There is no such thing as pass fail on a general home inspection. It is just an assessment of what's there. And we are looking for those major items. You nailed it. You got a multiple choice from Ian there at a late assist, and you made the right choice. But you were already there. Great job. Now here's my
Next
question.
week we'll talk about hydrostatic water tests, and we'll see.
I'm ready for that.
She is. She was here during an interview with Roger Wakefield. Okay, real fast. What's up with your new tagline? Where did it come from? Why are we talking about it?
I am fantastic and terrifying.
And you're so happy with that
All
description.
at the same time.
That's my favorite part of it, is that I said that about you. You can tell people the context, but you got to go real quick. And the fact that you loved that description is what we love about you.
There's a trend going around on TikTok, watch my boss, and you just put, you know, all these bosses have these social media managers. And so we just put the camera in front of them and they're like freaking out. Like, why are you filming me? What's happening? And Todd just like nailed it. And he said, she's fantastic, but she's terrifying. And I had a mother who like told stories about me and made fun of me. And I just like, it fills my love tank. I'll take any attention.
I just love that you
That can also
loved.
be your tagline.
I love that you loved being fantastic, and also loved being terrifying. Hey, folks, if you're thinking about buying or selling a house, it could be fantastic, or it could be terrifying. We're here to help make it fantastic for you and help protect you from the terrifying parts. Go to toddtremonteteam.com. That's toddtremonteteam.com. If you goof the spelling on that, just Google it. You'll find us. Or you can call us or text us directly, 214-310-0008. If you're thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate and you're confused by market changes and industry changes or the seasonality of the market or the election or any of these things, I want to offer you free expert advice from our team. We only hire full-time world-class agents, and we train the heck out of them, and they're fully committed, and they're wonderful people. I am offering you a free chunk of their time, 30 to 90 minutes. All you got to do is call us or text us, 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, or you can go to toddtremonteteam.com and listen closely.
Find out what your home would sell for right now in under a minute at toddtremonteteam.com.